Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzer and welcome back to another TMNT 2012, or Nickelodeon's TMNT 2012 cartoon review, or episode review, I should say. And of course, today we're going to be taking a look at what is probably everyone's favorite, or at least having talked to many people, everyone's favorite episode of the series so far, of the first season, and that is episode number 9, The Gauntlet. And damn, what an episode it was. Right off the bat, I really kind of want to point out, if you've listened to a lot of my other reviews, I've really pointed out that one of the things I felt was that the show was at times almost slow, almost too slow, and that it had a little almost like a lack of direction. And then here comes this episode where, I mean, there was just so much stuff that happened in this episode that it was almost like too eventful. So without further ado, let's get into it. Basically, the way that the episode opens up is that we see April O'Neil, of course. She's walking kind of the streets, and all of a sudden you see that she's being almost tracked by some sort of an animal, and then you see it's like this hideous pigeon, and really they did it like, it's almost like horrifically looking. Like that thing, that design for that pigeon is like, it's just disgusting. It looks like it's got like warts on it. I don't know. Like, I'm saying it right now and I'm like, ugh, that's gross. So great job on design for this particular character. But basically, she then runs off to the turtles, who have set up a brand new tool of theirs, and that is explosive kind of smoke bombs, where Donatello cleared out eggshells and was able to create smoke bombs. And there was a pretty funny joke here where, as he's explaining all this, all of a sudden you hear Michelangelo, he's like, "Hey guys, who wants an omelet?" or something like that. And then you just hear, "I think these eggs are rotten," or something. I don't remember if that was exactly the line, but it was something along those lines. Good little joke there, and a great way to get the episode started, to a lighthearted yet fun way to kick things off. And then basically April runs to the lair, and she warns the turtles, and she tells them that, hey, I've been like chased by this crazy thing. I'm not sure what it's trying to do. Is it trying to kill me? I'm not sure. It's trying to hunt me, I think. And basically then the turtles figure out that, hey, we need to somehow bait this thing into attacking you again, and then we'll be able to take care of it. And that's really kind of what their plan is, and that's how they set out. And as they are about to go out to the street, Master Splinter makes an appearance, and he really makes a really important role in this episode, and that is the fact that he tells the turtles, hey, you do know that Shredder is in town, and you do know that he is gonna be a potential threat for you guys sooner rather than later. And as he says that, the turtles, of course, almost kind of blow him off, I would say, to where Leonardo just kind of says, hey, in the last few months, like, we've defeated all these, we've defeated robots, we've defeated pretty much anything that has come at us. It's not cockiness, we are just simply that damn good. And it really sets up the episode well, to where you see, like, Leonardo really becomes that cocky leader that is not characterful of what Master Splinter has taught him to be. And it really is something that almost nearly ends up costing him and his brothers their life towards the end of the episode, which I really liked, because I like the fact that this episode really showed us our heroes being unsuccessful. It really showed you a much more realistic approach. That's the one thing with American cartoons versus Japanese cartoons. Japanese cartoons, or even live action tokusatsu shows, really do not are not afraid of showing death and showing violence and the results of violence and everything, and really showing kids the that the good guys don't always win, even though that's what the TMNT theme song says, and that there are consequences of being cocky or not approaching dangerous situations with caution and such. And that's really kind of an overarching theme of this particular episode, which I really, really liked about this episode. But back on track, and basically we see also Shredder again showing his frustrations with Xever and Chris Bradford, and really telling them that you've failed me again. And he's really kind of, this time you could see that that was it. That was the last straw. And he says, I'm going to take care of the turtles myself. Which got me really excited, because I was like, Man, oh man, this means that this is the episode that we're going to see Shredder whoop some butt against the Turtles. So I was very excited, and guess what? It delivered very well, but we'll get to that in just a moment. And basically, throughout the episode, they set up the idea that now Bradford and Xever are trying to figure out a way to avenge their kind of lost respect from Shredder, and the way that they want to do this is by defeating the Turtles, of course. So we have that setup going on, and then at the same time, the Turtles are able to trick this Pigeon into telling them why it's after April, and we find out that actually the Pigeon has brought a message from April's father, which basically within the message, he just simply sends out a warning telling the Turtles, hey, you guys are all in danger, or telling April that you're in danger, get out of the city, and that's pretty much it. But the thing is, April, of course, doesn't want to leave her father, and they ask the Pigeon, hey, where is he being kept? Let's go rescue him from the Kraang, of course. So as they are after, of course, they get into the Kraang secret base, and they are trying to rescue her father. There was one thing here that I found a little odd, and that was as they're trying to rescue him, Mikey activates the basically the alarm, and Michelangelo takes a lot of grief in this episode. They make fun of him a lot, but when it's time to step up, he's definitely there, front and center, and ready to perform. And that's one thing that I like about him. He's that like adorable, like you get so annoyed at him. You're like, Mikey, what are you doing? God. But at the same time, you just can't but love him because he's funny and just so genuine and everything. And they do a great job of carrying over that character of his. And this was a perfect episode to showcase that. But as they're rescuing her father, all of a sudden, they get kind of more than they bargained for, so to speak, and the Kraang is starting to push up on them, and her father decides to grab a Kraang gun, and he's basically telling the Turtles, like, get away from here, because he told the Turtles the plan is that, spoiler alert, is the fact that basically the city is in danger because the Kraang are planning to set off a huge bomb, which will set off a bunch of the mutagen ooze all over the city, obviously mutating a bunch of different people who are within the radius of this particular explosion. And basically that's kind of where the threat is. So it's up to the Turtles to obviously now stop this threat. But I did not understand why he had to grab the gun and protect the Turtles, because to me it's like one of the Turtles could have held, like, hold off the Kraang as well, because if he can, the Turtles should be able to for sure as well, and then basically use that as a distraction and get out of there, So I felt like that was a little bit of a moment where they kind of like just needed to get rid of her father again, so they just did that. But other than that, no complaints there. And then basically the Turtles are off on a very funny combination of events where they're trying to figure out how to set this bomb off. Well, not set it off, sorry. Make sure, stop it from setting off, and I should say. And basically, there's a really funny joke here where as they open up the case that has all the wires, like the typical scene of like where the smart guy has to pick the right wire to cut it off and everything. You see Donatello, he opens up the case and he's like, what the, like, I don't know what is going on here. This is really complex technology and I've never been around this type of tech. And Donatello's like, well, what the hell? What were you expecting it to be? Just a round bomb with a little, like, just a traditional bomb in the sense of like a cartoon, like a Looney Tunes cartoon would have a bomb of where it'd just be like a round black ball with a little bit of a string hanging from it saying bomb on it. So the way that they animated it was really clever and it was funny and just a great delivery that the show is able to make fun of itself and really, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it takes itself seriously enough to where the plots matter, the characters matter, and everything. And basically, as they are trying to set off the bomb, all of a sudden, Xever and Bradford show up because Bradford gets a text message, which is another thing that I was like, who was it that texted him or something? I guess telling him where the Turtles are going to be. So they show up and then now challenge the turtles. And the turtles actually, I forgot to point out in this episode, another cool thing was that the turtles actually, in order to get to this bomb, is that they all use bows and arrows, which I found to be cool because it's like they acknowledge the fact that, you know how the toys of the turtles always came with a bunch of different weapons, like ninja stars and everything. So I love the fact that they acknowledge that the turtles often will resort to other equipment, not just their favorite weapons. And like Raphael did not just use the sai, or Leonardo wasn't just using his katanas. They actually used bows and arrows, which I found to be very cool. And they were awesome because they were like explosive arrows and everything. And the Kraang were just blowing up everywhere. It was really well done there. But back on track, Xever and Bradford offer up quite a challenge, but the turtles are able to get a handle on them. And basically they back them into a corner or onto a ledge where all that mutagen is. And then Bradford decides he's like, you know, he's got the samurai spirit, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take you guys out with me. And he stabs the glass that is holding all the mutagen, and then out comes pouring a huge amount of mutagen all over him and Xever. The turtles are able to dodge it. And we obviously are kind of reminded to the idea of that these guys are going to get mutated. Now, earlier on in the episode, Bradford ends up touching this dog, and then Xever ends up touching a fish. So I'm not sure how the mutagen works. Does it work in terms of like the last animal or living species or whatever that you touched is the one that you're going to get mutated into? I'm not really sure exactly how it works in that sense, or is it something within you? That would be something that I would love to kind of understand more in some way, shape, or form in terms of how it works. But basically, we know that they're going to get mutated into something, but we don't see that because all of a sudden, in comes the Shredder. Just when the turtles think that it was another successful night, here's the Shredder, who hands them a beating like they were not ready for. He's just whooping their butt. In fact, he's got Leonardo by the neck against the wall, and he's setting up to just slice his head off. He sticks his spikes in, and he says, "Where's Splinter? And if you tell me, your death is going to be simple." So not only does he not offer him an option like, hey, if you tell me where Splinter is, I'm not going to kill you. He literally just says, I'm going to kill you, but just not as bad as I would if you didn't tell me. Just when you think that now the turtles are in big trouble, all of a sudden we see Bradford and Xever, in their brand new mutated forms, which of course is later going to be known as Dogpound and Fishface. And we see them, and that really allows the turtles to take advantage of one split moment where Shredder is distracted because he's like, what the hell is that? And then boom, the turtles are gone, and we're able to take advantage of that one slight moment. And I really like that fact because even though the turtles, at the end of the day, the heroes got away and they're safe, and or at least for now, I really like the fact that they showed that the bad guys do win sometimes. Because that's one thing, like, you know, a lot of the Transformers cartoons, a lot of North American oriented cartoons will not dare to have their heroes kind of dispersed, or, you know, just really show that the heroes will lose if they make certain mistakes, if they don't follow their own code, if the heroes are not able to follow a particular guideline or set rules, or a set of rules, I should say. And I like that. I like the fact that we know now that the turtles will have to adjust to this brand new threat. They are not ready for Shredder. Shredder is too complex at this point. And now, how does Fishface and Dogpound play into account? Will these challenges be even greater now? Because Bradford and Xever were quite a challenge for them as it is. And slowly, I love the fact that we saw that the turtles have figured out how to face Bradford and Xever. We saw that our heroes slowly evolve to the point that now they're able to take them on and are successful, and their success rate has gone up. But here's a huge threat, a brand new threat in the Shredder, who decimated the turtles, and they had nothing to offer up as resistance. So what do they do now? Do they crawl back into their shells? No pun intended. Pun intended. I don't know. Whatever you decide. What is going to happen next for the turtles? We will find out in the next TMNT review, which will be, of course, episode number 10. So make sure to tune in for that. That should be actually going up soon. I know that I said that last time, guys, but this time I have a lot more time. So I actually watched the 10th episode and I already know what happened. I love the 10th episode. It was really, really cool. So that review should be going up probably within 2, maybe 3 days after this one. I'm just trying to space out the videos. I'll probably have it done tonight as well, but I just want to space out the videos in a way that makes more sense. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. You guys are freaking awesome. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the review. Of course, in the comment section below, I'd love to hear what you thought of this particular episode or any other episode for that matter. Make sure to go check out all my other TMNT 2012 episode reviews. You guys are freaking awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and see you later.